Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is King's Corner in South Burlington, Vermont. King's Corner is a forum for discussion on turbulence and topics in Burlington, the state of Vermont, and also national trends. We go by the premise that we should try to live life large, which means find happiness in everything you do. We also believe that one random act of kindness every day can change the world. So today I have a specific topic to talk about: forgiveness. Um, it's very important that in our lives we try to incorporate forgiveness in our life, because you know what? We're not perfect. We all make mistakes. And I believe that everyone deserves a chance. It may take some time for people to forgive other people, but if you do that, you have a sense of, um, I guess, a feeling of accomplishment. You feel better about yourself, because if somebody wrongs you, you have to carry that with you. You get frustrated, you get angry. You might take it on the road and have road rage, and that's not good. Especially today, it just seems like everybody's in a hurry. Everybody's trying to get somewhere when they can't. There's the old adage that there are things that you can control and things that you can't control. And of course, if you've ever if you've ever gotten a speeding ticket and try to save the points, and you have to do that driving class. Excuse me, I'm going to have a salsa water because my throat's getting dry. But you'll learn a little bit about driving, and driving is about time and distance. So when you get on the road, and especially in Vermont, where you have roads that are like two lane roads, and you got stoplights, you got intersections, you got places where you're going from 50 miles an hour down to 25 miles an hour. It, there's no sense going fast. You can pass people, but you're going to get there maybe 2 or 3 minutes ahead of time. I know it's hard, but you got to develop a sense of patience. And if you just try and relax the brain and try and think about the fact that, if you got up and you didn't prepare yourselves correctly and you are late for whatever reason, you're going to be late. You can't advance the clock. But I guess I guess that's just the way things go. So when we get back to forgiveness, I know I got off on a tangent. You carry that with you, and I'll share something with you. Recently, we got our snow tires stolen from the garage, and of course we put in the appropriate reports. Fortunate for us, they just put brand new cameras in the garage, and so the individuals finally got caught. But immediately I forgave them, because there's all kinds of reasons. I know that sounds silly. You're probably saying, well, you're a jerk, and you should go after these people. But you know what? There must have been a reason. If it was criminal activity, if it was the intent of I'm just a criminal and I'm just doing it because I like to do mean things, then by all means, I hope they get prosecuted to the full extent of the law. But if they were, on some kind of pain pills or heroin or something that's really prevalent in our society today, maybe instead of incarceration, maybe they need some help. By all means, they should go through the system, and hopefully they'd have to do restitution. But I apologize right ahead of time, way ahead of time, because people make mistakes. We're not human. I do have some Christian beliefs, and I'm not gonna throw those on you right now, but the Christian belief says that you should forgive, and we're not perfect. We're actually born sinners. We're born to sin. We're born to do things like that. So, from a Christian perspective, we're trying to go out and live our lives through the teachings of Jesus Christ. But you know what? It is impossible to live a perfect life. Anyone who says, I have a perfect life, or I live a perfect life, or I am perfect, they're not telling the truth, because we all make mistakes. So because we all make mistakes, we should also be offered the opportunity to be forgiven. And as a father of children, there's the unconditional love that comes with that as a parent, and people do all kinds of things. Children do all kinds of things, and they get caught and they get punished. But the one thing that I would hate for anyone to carry through their life is the guilt that comes with when you do something wrong and then you realize you did something wrong and you have guilt. Because guilt is a terrible thing to take with you in life. So if you apologize and you offer that apology up to someone, whoever you wronged, then the other person should consider forgiving you, and that would make things right. Some of the other things that go along with forgiveness is just the opportunity to maybe help someone who is in need. The other thing about forgiveness and about looking at that perspective is we go out in the world and we look at people, and people are from all walks of life, from all backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds. There's black people, there's white people, and myself personally, I don't care if you're black, white, green, purple, gay, straight, married, single, tall, short, fat, skinny. We're all human. We all make mistakes. We all should be allotted the opportunity to be forgiven. Now, hand in hand with that, we also, because we're not perfect, we have a tendency to pass judgment on people. So some of us might look at people and make a comment about them. And I'm not saying that's okay, but maybe the next time you go out, it goes hand in hand with my philosophy of doing one random act of kindness every day. Instead of looking at that person, let's say a homeless person that's on the street, and saying, ooh, what a filthy, disgusting person. Why don't we just take time to go up to that person and say, bless you. I'm not suggesting that you give them money, because they're always putting up signs, homeless, I need money. Well, if you feel compelled that you want to help them, go buy them a hamburger and bring them a hamburger. You don't have to give them the cash, because we all have that fear that and there again, we're judging. We all have that fear that the people that are on the side of the road, the people that are saying they're homeless, they're all drug addicts and alcoholics, and the only thing they're going to do with their money is go buy more booze and more drugs. That's not necessarily true. Although a large percentage of it is true. If it's something that you feel compelled that you want to do for that person, go get them something. Go buy somebody a coffee and bring it to them. Go, a lot of people today, they go buy Starbucks in the morning. They go buy Dunkin' Donuts. Get them buy a donut and bring a donut and give it to somebody that you don't know. There was one trend that was started too. It's like you're in line at Dunkin' Donuts and you feel like you want to be charitable that day. You say to the person at the cash register, hey, you know what? I want to pay for the person's coffee behind me. Or you say, what did that person order behind me? Blah, 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 blah. All right, I want to pay for them too. So then they get up in line and they're like, okay, how much I owe you? It's okay. It's all been taken care of. The person that was in front of you paid. Wow. I mean, just that little act of kindness is going to help you through the day. It really sparks a level of positive in getting through the day. And I try really hard to look at things. I remember back I don't really like using this saying, but I remember like back in the day, I used to say, whenever I answered the phone or did a voicemail, I would always end with, or call someone and leave a message, I would always end with, thank you and have an extremely positive day. Just that little extra, it just kind of, puts a little, a bit of smile on somebody's face that you're saying something nice. And I think that we look at things a lot of times, and for me personally, it's a challenge every day to wake up and be positive. And it's a struggle because there's so many things that come at us on a daily basis. But I feel that if we can get up and we meditate, I might read a couple of passages, some daily Bible passages, or I'll go on the Daily Motivator and read some kind of motivational quote, or I'll go and do some breathing, or actually, I know this sounds silly, but I'll even go to the window and sit in my chair, just look out the window, and we have a bird feeder hanging from the porch, and I might just watch the birds, and it's amazing because we have this bluebird and cardinal that are regularly coming, and they'll just come up. He'll just come right up to the railing. He'll just, or she, I don't know if it's a he or she, or I don't really know that much about birds, so I don't know if there are difference, but it doesn't matter. The point is that the bird comes up, and it's almost like he's saying, "Good morning, have a positive day," and it's like I'm reminded of that song of "Plenty of Sunshine Going My Way, Mr. Bluebird's on my shoulder," and I giggle to myself. But it's just looking at the world and enjoying nature and breathing the air up here in Vermont, watching the birds in the morning gives me a sense of relaxation. And I've been accused of just staring into space, but it's part of my meditation process to start my day. And it's really important to start your day on a positive note. And when you get out in the world, the first thing you do is you get behind your car and somebody pulls out and you say, "You son of a," but you know what? Just breathe and relax and back off. And you're in a line of cars and you're waiting for the light to change, or you're in traffic and there's like 10 cars in front of you, and you see somebody wanting to pull out. Why can't you just slow down and signal and let this person out? Well, that would be the one random act of kindness every day, because it doesn't matter, because there's freaking 10 cars in front of you, so you're not going to get there any faster. So why don't you just let the person out? And then there's the person that will be up your butt and wanting to know why you're not going faster. But it's okay. Let it go. Because there are things that you can control and the things that you can't control. And you can't control a line of traffic. And you certainly can't grow wings and a rocket engine or a helicopter blade and suddenly fly over the traffic and miraculously go to your destination. If we could do that, then I guess there wouldn't be any frustration, there wouldn't be any road rage, there wouldn't be any issues. But unfortunately, we can't. So moving forward, we've talked about a few different topics, and part of the King's Corner message is that we want to try and give a little kindness. And part of the culture that I'm trying to live my life with is giving back to people. Because I take my knowledge, whether it's Christian beliefs or things that I hear, and I take them in and I raise them up and I think about them, and then I go out and I try to talk about things that are positive and motivational. And if you see somebody struggling, or if you see somebody crying, or if you see somebody in a bad mood, no, we're not counselors, we're not psychiatrists, but just a kind word every once in a while, a please and thank you, a hold the door. I saw a video or a news clip on once. There was an elderly person trying to cross the road, and somebody actually stopped their vehicle, got out of their vehicle in the middle of the road, and went and tried to direct traffic so that this person could get across the road. Now that's great. And it didn't cost that person anything, and they weren't looking for any payment. They weren't looking for a pat on the back. But I'm sure it got them through the day and made them feel a lot better about who they are and what they were trying to accomplish for that day. And I'm sure that person that was crossing the road was very appreciative. And if we did more of that every day, I think we could change the world. But for some reason, there's so much hate in the world, even on YouTube, even on videos, even on Facebook. And part of this King's Corner show came from when I was doing a radio show, and one of the things that we talked about in our radio show is that hate makes you weak and love makes you strong. Not the kind of love like you're making love to somebody, but just the love your neighbor, or love of life, or love of doing things right. Because I believe that there's a good thing There's a good side to everything. And then there's what I call the dark side of the force. And the dark side of the force and the enemy, whether you call it devil or whether you just call it mean people, they have issues too. They have fear. They have anxiety. They have a lot of issues too. But you know what? I'm not going to let it affect my day. I'm going to move forward. And I think that's what we need to process every day. That we're not in charge of what other people do. We're only in charge of what we can do. And what we can do is to offer a more positive solution to what's going on around us. And if everybody offered a more positive solution to what's going on around us,